Mr. Ambassador, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Alan. It's nice to have you here. Welcome to the United States of America.
Thank you for having us. And you were summoned today by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Belgium. How did that meeting go?
It went very well. Actually, I know Theodora very well. She is an incredible professional, career Foreign Service executive. We know each other fairly well for the last 100 days, actually. We had a nice dinner here the other night for a friend of ours who is your ambassador of Belgium to the United States, Frederick Bernard, who's just doing a great job, by the way.
Okay.
And was very professional. She's a first-class person. I like her. I have respect for her. She explained the government's position that we would prefer not to have this dialogue in the form of tweets. I informed her of our position, that we are very supportive of these Jewish community members in Antwerp. There has been a lot of issues with businesses having to close in Antwerp because they were harassed, because they were Jewish. We do have some incidents all across Europe, in America too. It is everywhere where anti-Semitism is on the rise.
So she didn't reprimand you for the way you put forward your position via tweets in a very stern way?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a reprimand. It was a professional conversation.
Do you understand the commotion that occurred after your tweets?
Well, there's a reason why I tweeted it.
Tell us.
The reason was there is a very serious issue of prosecuting these religious mohels who are doing their job. They've done this procedure religiously for thousands of years. There has never been a prosecution of them. If this were to be found illegal, and possibly they could go to jail, this would be the only country in Europe to make it illegal.
Okay.
And most civilized nations have a procedure for this, and Belgium is a very civilized nation. So, two fronts, and I think you have to distinguish between the two. This is where my good friend Maxime Prévost, who I really like, I actually can say I love this guy. He is a true professional. He loves his country. He's doing a great job. And he and I are working on very important issues with regard to diplomacy, trade, defense, energy.
But with regard to this case?
There are two sides of this case. One is, and they are inextricably linked, but they are separate. One is that the case should be dropped. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Two is, for the case to be properly dropped, there needs to be this procedure that is accredited under the Ministry of Health. Theo Franken can't do this under the Ministry of Defense.
It's Mr. Frank van den Broeke.
Can't do it under the Minister of Interior. It has to be Frank.
Okay.
And he knows this. I went to see him. This was not a pleasant meeting, but he's a professional also. And he did tell me that he was waiting for the case to end.
Okay, but two things. Let's unpack what you're saying, because there's a lot going on. I have lots of questions.
But if you wait for the case to end, then you are allowing the possibility of a very serious wrong turn.
Okay.
If you make the procedure an accreditation like it is in Germany, like it is in other countries, then the case will be dropped.
I understand. Let's start with one aspect of what you've just mentioned and what stirred the commotion, I think. You asked the minister, in fact, in your tweet, to intervene in a judicial procedure.
No, I did not.
It was implied or understood that way, and that goes against the separation of powers.
Thank you so much. And I know that very well. I am a constitutionalist myself. So I was never advocating for anyone in the government to interfere in a judicial proceeding.
It was understood that way because you wrote you must drop the ridiculous and anti-Semitic prosecution,
yes,
between brackets now, of 3 Jewish religious figures.
Yes, that the you is the prosecutor. Yes.
Okay.
These charges should be dropped. But I completely understand, because I am very familiar with the law, that you cannot ask a politician to interfere with the judge or the court. But you can say, anytime you want, that you think that a prosecution should be dropped. That's what I think.
Okay. But why do you feel the need to make this point and to intervene? That's how it's understood here, how it was.
So let's look at this. Okay, these there's actually a photo of the Moyle. There are 4 of these men. It's very difficult to understand if you are under prosecution, if you have ever been prosecuted before.
There's an investigation. There's not a prosecution yet.
Yeah, it's a prosecutorial procedure underway. These are special men performing a religious procedure that they and their predecessors have been doing for thousands of years. And right now, they are not able to work. They are not able to provide for their family. They are broke. They are having to pay lawyers. There is no prosecution moving forward at the moment, but there is no prosecution ending at the moment.
Okay, I want to talk about this prosecution if you allow me.
So their lives are being ruined. And this is a very sad moment for these 4 men and their families. It is also very sad because the Jewish community in Antwerp feels for them. They want to help them, but they can't.
And why do you want to help them? Because we're talking about an ancient ritual, as you say, that involves an aspect called oral suction. The mohel, the ritual circumciser, sucks the blood with his mouth from the wound around the circumcision of the penis of the 8 days old child. Are you aware of that procedure, oral suction?
So this procedure that you're addressing, there is a very radical individual who has ties with the president of Iran.
You refer to Mr. Friedman.
He claims to be a rabbi. He has no congregation. But he is not in favor of this religious procedure anymore.
Yeah, but you don't mind it.
He goes around to countries trying to cause trouble. That's what he's doing.
But you don't mind this oral suction.
That's what he's doing here. I do not believe that that is the case. And
you don't believe that happens?
The accusation of this procedure, I'm not going to get into the ritual. This is something that the Jewish rabbis certify. But I will say...
But it is at the peril of the children's health.
Yes. Well...
Isn't that a reason to...
That's what you're saying.
Well, it's not only what I'm saying, it's what health officials have been saying also in New York, for example, where there's a great
but they have been doing this
Jewish community
around the world for thousands of years. And they should be permitted to exercise their religious freedom in their faith.
Even if it is at the peril of a child's health?
I don't think there is a peril of the child's health.
Okay. Did the White House ask you to communicate about this in any way?
No, but I have the full support of my government. If you also maybe saw yesterday, the great ambassador, who's a rabbi, Yehuda Kaplan, President Trump entrusted him with the fight of anti-Semitism globally. He is the president's special envoy. He retweeted my tweet. I spoke this morning to my good friend Charlie Kushner, who is our great U.S. ambassador to France. He was just also summoned by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in France for a beautiful op-ed that he wrote in the Wall Street Journal discussing the rise of anti-Semitism in France. It's very concerning. And he and I both spoke. I actually mentioned to him that I had a very good meeting today. I'm hoping the most important thing is that there is some positive resolution, A, to this case, and separately, B, to a resolution of this procedure so we are not put in this legal jeopardy that we're experiencing right now. It'd be great to resolve this in a very expeditious way.
An amicable way, as I understand it. Were you in touch with President Trump about this at all?
I don't discuss when I'm in touch with President
No.
Trump regularly, but he just had a very big event at the White House regarding anti-Semitism with Rabbi Kaplan. President Trump is a great friend of mine. He has been fighting for religious freedom on all sides. You know, he's fighting for our Christian brethren who've been attacked in Nigeria. He is also very much in contact with the Muslim leadership in the Middle East to protect their rights and their people's freedoms. And he's a great supporter of Israel and the Jewish people. And I know he would be proud of me for what I am standing up to defend here in Belgium.
And
By the
were
way,
you in touch with Michael Freilich from NVA?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is? He did you hear from our Prime Minister actually since?
No, I think he's finally getting some time off with his son skiing. I was looking at a photo.
So no contact
the other
since,
day. No. You leave him alone when he's
discussion.
he works so hard. He's doing such a great job. I love Bart de Wever. I actually think he should be running Europe.
Yeah. Okay. What was also taken very badly is that in the tweet you seem to accuse Federal Minister Belgium at large of anti-Semitism. That's a very serious allegation. Anti-Semitism is illegal in Belgium. As I say, it's a very strong allegation.
Yeah, there was no...
Do you mean that?
Excuse me. There was no insinuation that Belgium is anti-Semitic. I know Belgium is not anti-Semitic. But in this case, optics is everything. And it is being perceived that these decisions, either with the prosecutor or not making a provision in the Ministry of Health, because that's where that sits, that could be perceived as anti-Semitic. The optics of anti-Semitism are very serious. So we want to avoid that at all terms. I was saying to my friend Maxime Prévost, who I know, as I know the whole government is not anti-Semitic. They are against Semitism. So they are great people, great human beings. But when you
But they
have
are against
this,
Semitism, or you mean they are anti-Semitic?
they're not anti-Semitic.
Okay.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Yes. I'm a little dyslexic, but they're not anti-Semitic, of course.
Because in your text to him you write, the process must be changed if you are not anti-Semitic.
Yes, true.
So it's if Belgium doesn't act upon your suggestion, then Belgium and Prévost are anti-Semitic.
If the procedure is not made legal like it is in other civilized countries, it will be perceived as an anti-Semitic thing, for sure.
Would you say there's no freedom of religion then in Belgium?
No, there's absolutely freedom of religion. But this is one specific case that we're talking about. The foreign minister of Israel quote tweeted, I think Foreign Minister Prévost's a tweet about his being a little upset with me. And I didn't know this, but he had listed many instances of anti-Semitic acts here in Belgium, as he has done in other countries. So I think we all agree that we need to de-escalate the feelings of anti-Semitism, being anti-Christian, anti-Muslim. That's all in the same boat. These are some very important things here that could be resolved very easily. But I know in my heart, Belgium loves all people, and they would not want to be hurting anybody because of their religious rights. And it would be great to try to figure out this particular situation right now, because we don't want to have people thinking that these decisions are anti-Semitic.
How would you describe the relations between the US and Belgium at this point? Are they strained at all because of what happened, because of this discussion?
No. Look, we are lifelong friends. I've said this in many of my speeches. I went to the Battle of Bastogne out in the Ardennes forest for the 81st anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. And we have a very special bond with Belgium because twice we helped to liberate Belgium, but that did not come without great Belgian families helping to save American troops that were in peril. The Nazis would shoot a plane down. They'd be running to kill the pilot, but so would a Belgian farmer or a priest, and these are beautiful stories. So that binds us forever. I have said that from my heart.
And this discussion is not going to affect that, and you're not going to tweet anymore?
Well, I don't know if I'm not going to tweet anymore.
Or not about
But
internal
I am
Belgian affairs, maybe?
very excited about our upcoming business deals that are coming through. Once the trade deal comes through, we have about $25 billion that we will be announcing from right here. These are Belgian businesses investing in the United States.
But not about internal Belgian affairs,
Well,
maybe?
I think we all talk about our own internal affairs. Often I hear lots of folks in Belgium talking about America's internal affairs all the time. I do think...
But you're an ambassador, of course, and you overstepped the line in terms of what is expected of an ambassador and what is appropriate for an ambassador, at least from a diplomatic point of view here in Europe.
Those are your words.
Okay, so you do not feel bound by those rules?
I think it's important to express conviction, moral character, integrity when it matters most.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.